Okay, so I had to make a video because, wow, I just kind of was looking at my life and evaluating my life in these past few days, and I'm like, God is doing something. So today is January 31st, I think, January 30th or 31st. 2024 is the top of the year, and so just to give an all-around picture, I lost my job back in July. It was a great job. I loved everything about it. I got laid off. It happened out of nowhere, and me and my roommate had just renewed our lease in May, and I got laid off in July. And so I was nervous about how I was going to continue to pay rent and finish off my lease, especially now since I had no income. Praise the Lord, I received severance, and praise the Lord, I also, once the severance ended, I was then able to get unemployment. But what unemployment was giving me compared to what I was making and compared to my bills, it wasn't adding up. And so, but even in that, the Lord kept me July till January, and I'll go more into that. But I've never, like, He would still provide jobs and opportunities for me, and I never missed a bill, I never missed rent, and I continue to keep gas in my car, food in my fridge. Like, God provided, He made a way, and it was good because I was able to see God and experience God in a way that I hadn't before. And so really seeing God as a provider, really seeing God make a way and provide opportunities for me when I couldn't foresee how I was gonna continue to make it. But so it was great. Like God just kept me, and every time when, like, if an opportunity had come for me to work a job seasonal or whatever, when that job ended, before I had time to worry, or before I had time to sit and to worry about, oh my God, like, okay, I got this job has ended, I have these bills coming up, it was something else. God was moving, God provided, an opportunity came before I had the opportunity to even sit in a worry, to sit in a thought of trying to figure out how I was going to make this happen or make that happen. So through it all, me being laid off, me losing a job sucked. But I do think that season of my life was one that was needed in my spiritual walk, to really see and experience God as a provider. I did not have the answers. I did not know how the rest of that year would pan out, but God and His grace and in His mercy worked it out. And it was only by His grace and His mercy that I coasted through that through those months with little worry and with little frustration. And it's to the point where my roommate, he's a male, he would always say, he'll be like, how are you paying your rent right now? Like, how are you paying your bills? Like, he was like, every time a new month come, I'm always like expecting a text message for you to say, for you to say, I can't, like, I ain't got it this month. So God was amazing. I think that sometimes when we go through situations in our lives that's unexplainable, or it just happens out of nowhere and it's a curveball. You know, sometimes we just need to sit back and really see what God is doing, learn what God is doing, and really just sit back and really see, is there a bigger picture at work here? Is there a greater God plan at work here that I just need to see and experience? And I truly believe in that time, in that season, it was really me getting to see God as Jireh, as provider, as a father, as someone who really takes care of us. And so our lease was supposed to end in May, and it's the end of January now. So a roommate was looking to get a house. He had been in the market for a house, and so what he thought was going to be a closing that would happen more towards our lease end and actually happen at the beginning of the year. So he closed in January, and he was like, hey, I'm just going to break the lease. He was like, I got a house. He was like, I'm going to break the lease and move into the house. And he was like, you can stay here or you can also break it as well. We just find somebody else to finish the lease off. And so I sat with that, and I was like, where I'm gonna move to, like, I still technically don't have a job. And so I'm just like, well, it'll be hard for me to move somewhere else because I don't have a job. And I really don't want to move back in with family. Like, who wants to move back in with parents, aunts, uncles, like cousins? Like, who wants to do that? Like, as people, like, we like our own space. It's nothing like being in your own space. It's beautiful. It's awesome. So I was like, I thought it over, and I was really was trying to, in my mind, trying to see, if this or if that. But needless to say, I'm like, okay, well, the better decision would be for me to, temporarily move back in with the folks. And so, all in all, it'll be a nice break from having to pay rent. So even though it wasn't ideal for me, I was like, it'd just be a better idea. It'd just be better to be a break. So this was in December. Called the folks, like, look, February I may need to slide back in, but I don't plan to be there long. Like, I remember even telling my dad, I was like, listen, if something happens before February, I'm like, plans cancel, I'm gonna move somewhere else. But I was telling my dad, I'm like, I'm hoping that something else comes and we don't have to revisit this. But needless to say, it didn't come. And so here it is, January 30th or 31st. I'm moving. And what prompted me to make this video is because I was sitting in my car and I was having a talk in a moment with the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna have to, something else happened. So yesterday, while I was moving my items, this lady out of nowhere just comes in my lane and hits my car. And she hit me. I'm up here driving on the sidewalk trying to avoid her, and so I stopped the car, I take a deep breath, and I'm like, okay. And what should have been a moment of anger and frustration and like, how dare you, I got out of the car very peaceful, very calm, and she got out of the car very apologetic and very, sorrowful, and we did what we had to do. But so that happened, and then today was the day that we were, last day moving out. So today's the 31st, and I am expecting to be at this point the most frustrated, the most down, the most sad, because I was living in this very beautiful apartment in this very nice area, and now I'm about to move back into a small space at my folks. And I've been here before. I've been in this little thing where it's just like I'm up and life is good and the job is jobbing and the house is housing, and then something happens and it's like, dang, like I had to move back in with my folks. And I've been in that season before where when I had to move back in, I was down, I was crying, and I was very angry at my situation in life. And so with this now happening again, I was expecting those same emotions of being angry and being frustrated and being down. And it's like, I knew it was gonna come, it was gonna hit me. But I was driving in this car, and I'm just like, wow, like, you know what? Usually I would feel a sense of being overwhelmed with emotions and insecurities and feelings of failure and feelings of what am I going to do with my life. But as I sit here in this moment, there is a peace, there is a calmness that is with me and that has come upon me, that I don't feel that. And I know it's God, because within me, I want to be angry, I want to be frustrated, I want to be mad, but I can't force myself to be. I can't get myself to the point to be. So I know that this peace and this calmness that I have right now in this time of really wanting to be mad and frustrated at my current circumstance, I know that this peace is coming from God. I know that that me experiencing this when at other times I have experienced something else, I know that I feel like it's the Lord just saying that I got you, I'm with you. Like, this is something that needed to happen. This is something that this is something that I'm doing. This is something that this transition is just something that needs to happen. And so I believe that he's giving me this peace because he doesn't want me to be angry, because then I will be angry at something that he's doing. And so now I'm starting to reevaluate how I'm feeling. I'm reevaluating how I'm thinking, and I'm just reevaluating everything. And if you have gotten to this point in this video and you're still here, maybe you're going through a storm. Maybe you are going through something that happened unexpected, or maybe there's a life switch or a life change that just up and happened. I just want to encourage you to just take a step back. What is something that you can learn from this moment? What could you get from this moment? What is the bigger picture in this moment that you can take from, that you can draw from, that you can learn from, that could be more of a blessing than a curse that you may be feeling? Or what is it that God could be doing or about to do that you just kind of need to sit and be patient with. And so I just want to use this moment to just share a testimony, to share like when these things happen in our lives that we view as failures, they're not always failures. They're not always shortcomings. God doesn't make mistakes. And there are sometimes that us in our flesh, we may not always be able to comprehend what the Spirit is doing or what God is doing. But that's when we just need to take a step back, have a moment of reflection, and ask God to give us the understanding or the revelation of what it is that He is doing, so that we can learn what we need to learn, get what we need to get, and not misinterpret it as something else. So I hope that whatever it is that you're going through, I really hope that you guys feel encouraged. I hope that you guys feel really empowered to take on this next phase of life with trusting the Lord for one, but being optimistic and hopeful that something great is about to happen. So that is my story for now. We will see what happens and what that will look like. So to be continued.